I have not seen. It's my first time.
Oh,
My first time as well.
what?
Yep.
Wait, as much as you love Winnie the Pooh?
What does this have to do with Winnie the Pooh?
Kind of a lot, to be honest.
Wait, what movie are we doing tonight?
Robin Hood.
I thought we did Robin Hood already.
we didn't record the episode for Robin Hood.
Man, oh man.
Wait, what movie was the next movie?
Many
the
Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
Oh my god!
You never recorded Robin Hood?
You're just ahead of the game.
Oh man, I'm so prepped for Winnie the Pooh.
Welcome to the Magic of Animation, where we explore the enchanting world of Disney, from the classics we grew up with to the latest releases. We'll take a deep dive into the artistry, storytelling, the unforgettable characters, and the pure magic that makes these movies timeless. So whether you're a lifelong Disney fan or new to the magic, sit back, relax, and join us as we embark on our journey through the wonderful, magical world of animation. Hi-ho everybody, my name is Joey and this is the Magic of Animation podcast, and I am joined by Dequan,
Hello.
Kevin,
Hey there.
and Mike. I did what?
So hi.
Mm,
What the heck? Everyone else says hi, and it's like, oh, that's cool. And then Mike goes, hi, and then suddenly there's an issue. That's great. That's crazy.
I didn't have nicknames for everybody this time. I'm sorry. I didn't know what to come up with.
Could have been Bandit number 1, Bandit number 2, Bandit number 3, and Bandit number 4.
All right, let's
Head
do that.
Bandit.
I'm gonna say Mike is Bandit number 1, and Dequan's
That's a lot of
Bandit
responsibility.
number 4.
I don't like
Yes.
I'll be Bandit number 3, and Kevin can be Bandit number 2.
Woohoo.
Hold on now. I'm number 1. That's a lot of responsibility.
Heck yeah, it is.
We're gonna fail
He'll survive.
every time.
In today's
Crumble under
episode,
pressure.
we will be talking about the movie Robin Hood. But first, we have to do Pooh's 100 Acre Check-In. How has everyone's week been?
I was gonna let somebody else go first.
But you always go first.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dequan
what?
always goes first.
Oh, you're right. You're right. So my week has been relatively mid. Nothing too crazy's happened. I got an oil change.
Ooh.
Okay, so now this may seem very like it's an oil change, but hear me out. This oil change only cost me $50 for high mileage,
Wow.
but I got a free car wash. All my fluids got topped off. My tires got refilled, and my car got vacuumed out, and I got a complimentary water bottle.
Wow.
Did you
For
go to
$50?
Pasha's Magic Touch?
Yes, I did.
Yes. I was gonna tell
That
you to
was
go there.
amazing. My coworker told me about it. I was like, that's not true. That's unbelievable.
Yes.
It was believable.
Not a sponsor.
Fun facts about oil changes with me is I lease. So with Ford, I just go to the dealership, because what they do is when you buy a vehicle or lease a vehicle, they give you rewards points, and you can redeem them towards things like oil changes and whatnot. And I think it's 10,000 per oil change, or 20,000, and you get 80,000 for buying a car. And I didn't know this, so I had already leased 3 vehicles before I knew this. So for the past 3 years, I haven't had to pay for oil changes,
Nice.
Fancy.
because I had so many reward points built up because I didn't know that I had them.
Well, when you run out of reward points, let us know.
Right.
We know where to send you.
Right?
How was your Halloween, Dequan? Nothing special? Wow.
Yeah, nothing special. I had to think about that. Nothing special. I didn't do anything for Halloween.
All right. Kevin, how about your week?
Man, life's been great.
That's good.
We just got back from a weekend away. We went and traveled around the Lower Peninsula,
Nice.
and just went on a car ride, looked at trees, went to the water a couple times, seen a lighthouse or two.
What side of the state?
West side.
Okay, that's the better side.
Yep, it's the better looking side.
Yep.
Yep, did the Tunnel of Trees and all that stuff.
Oh,
It's
so you
not
went
peak
way
season.
up there.
Oh yeah, we went all the way up. We stayed the night. Well, we started off in Benton Harbor, and then went all the way up from there. Stayed the night in Traverse City, and then went from Traverse City to Petoskey, and then up did the Tunnel of Trees, all that. All
We
that fun
have
stuff.
we have a location in Harbor Springs which you had to drive through to get to the Tunnel of Trees from Petoskey.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a location up there.
Huh. So yeah, that was my weekend, and then my Halloween was great. Kid, dude, even with it snowing, right? So my daughter has never been one to like be like gung ho about the trick or treating thing. Like she does it and she enjoys it, but she's done after maybe an hour.
Right.
Man, this year this kid was going strong for almost 3 hours in the snow. It's great.
Yeah.
Good time.
Going back to your up north trip, me and my wife love the state of Michigan. It's the most beautiful state in the country. So we've gone up and down the West Coast numerous times. That we've seen every lighthouse on the West Coast of the state.
Mm-hmm.
But one time we woke up. I don't remember what time we woke up, but we woke up. We drove up to Traverse City, had lunch, went up the Leelanau Peninsula, saw the Grand Traverse Lighthouse at the tip of it, and then came down it, went down the coast, stopped in Ludington, and then came across back home all in one day.
Nice.
That was I think we left at 10 o'clock and we got home at 11:30.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good 4-hour drive. 4.5 hours, depending on where you're leaving from.
Yeah. Mike, how about your week and Halloween?
It's chill.
Nice.
I just chilled. Just worked. About the usual. My Halloween was okay. I just kind of stayed in, and they don't do trick or treating where I'm at, so didn't get to see any cool like costumes or anything like that. So I mostly just stayed at home, and I played some Dead Space, playing it for the first time. It's a horror game about space zombies, basically.
Nice.
Well, it's cool. It's fun. I'm kind of mad I didn't play it as a kid. For some reason, the first time I played it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna play it. I played about 30 minutes. I got hit with a jump scare, and for some reason, this jump scare got me so bad that I literally shut the game off and returned the game the same day and was like, I can't play this.
Nice.
And now I went to play it, I went past that same spot, and I was like, huh, that didn't even get me.
Fun.
So, that's just basically it. Nothing fun. Oh, I did get, I'm just going to say this, just throw it in there because I don't really have a lot to say with my week. I got pizza on Friday. Had a good, fun, day to just kind of myself with some pizza and wings, and they messed my dang food up. My wings were undercooked. They were soft and kind of squishy, and I was really grossed out by them. So that sucked. And then my pizza, they threw... So I like pineapple and jalapeno as a combination versus sweet and spicy. And they threw so much dang pineapple on there and so little jalapenos on there. So it was extra sweet and kind of watery from the pineapple juice on it. And not very spicy. I was very upset. And because there were so many pineapples, I wound up getting really bad canker sore under my tongue. So that is painful right now.
So segueing off of that, my work gave us a luncheon for Halloween, and they catered subs, and there were so many subs that I think that they were rushing to get them all done to where the bread I don't think was fully cooked. So that was a bummer.
Oof.
It was a little raw. But I haven't really done anything, but Halloween was cool. Baby boy was Winnie the Pooh. He loved seeing all the kids dressing up, coming up to the door. We were going to take him around the neighborhood, but I looked out the door and it was a blizzard, so I was like, well, we're going to stay inside. Yep.
Wait, did it really snow that much? Because I heard it snowed, but when I looked out, I'm like, I don't see anything.
It was crazy. But at one point, We give out goodie bags when we give out candy. We don't just give out little fun size. We give out a bag of candy. And there were so little kids out because it was snowing that this little girl came up to the door. So I said, it doesn't look like there's that many people. Here's 2. And she goes, you did that for me last year. And I was like, oh, okay, here's 3.
The fact that she remembered is impressive.
Yeah, that's what I told my wife. I was like, see, they do remember us, that we give out the good candy.
You gotta up the ante again next year.
Yeah,
Give her 4.
come next year, we're expecting 4.
Yeah. Alright, so with that, we can jump right into stats from Baymax. So this movie, where is it at? Here it is, was released on November 8th in 1973 by Disney Animation. It's based on The Legend of Robin Hood, if you can believe that.
Whoa, really?
I do not know. Oh my
I
goodness.
thought Robin Hood was based off of this.
I do not know any of the budget stuff because I didn't look any of that up, so that's my bad. But Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 58, and the audience gave it an 81.
Wait, what did the critic dudes give it?
58.
Oh, okay. I mean, I guess that's not too bad. I thought it was 120.
So, with that, we'll jump right into Timon and Pumbaa's movie review. First up, we have overall enjoyment. How did you guys enjoy this movie overall?
I liked it, and I didn't like it.
Strange.
There is an enjoyable movie, and I would definitely watch it again. And it is much more better done as a tale of a legend, unlike Sword in the Stone. But a lot of the scenes I feel go on for too long. A lot of the chaotic scenes get really chaotic and really hectic. And it kind of just feels very just jarring. It feels like very ADHD at a lot of points. And they just feel like they go on for a little too long.
Oh, yeah.
But they are enjoyable. So I'm not saying it's like bad. I'm just like, I feel like this could have been cut a little bit shorter.
I feel that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So I had never seen this movie before. And I had a little bit of high hopes coming in, because I have high hopes for every Disney movie that I have not seen, but I did not like it. There's not really much that I liked about it. There's some enjoyable spots, I guess, but it's not something I'm going to go out of my way to watch.
Yeah, I agree. It had some good comedy. It had, it had some highs. It didn't really have like lows, but it just kind of, it was.
I know you said lows, but it sounded like you said woes. So I just kind of chuckled. Had some highs, had some woes.
Woes.
Okay, so I enjoyed the movie, and I think this might be another Aristocat situation. But I wouldn't say I love the movie. I would definitely say I did enjoy it a lot. I share some of the similar aspect that Mike does, not in the ADHD category, but like, after certain sections of the movie, I'm like, oh, okay, so the movie's supposed to end now. And I would look at it, and there's a whole another 30 minutes. I'm like, what do you mean there's another 30 minutes? Yeah. I thought we concluded things already.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I would say...
I know what part he's talking about, too.
I would say my biggest
the
gripe...
same feeling.
My biggest gripe with the movie is the fact that, like, the timeline seems off. And it doesn't seem like it's well structured. That's about it, really.
Yeah. See, with Aristocats, when I couldn't remember my notes, it's because there was such a huge gap in between me watching it and us recording. This one, there was a decent gap, but it's just so unmemorable that I don't know what a lot of these notes mean.
We'll help you with them.
Yeah. But you guys talk. I have a note in here somewhere where you guys talking about where it seems like the movie's over, but it's not. Is I 1000% thought that after that big fight scene at whatever festival that was, I thought the movie was over.
Yep.
It
wasn't even close.
But that was the middle of the movie.
Like after they did their whole section when they he's talking, saying all these nice things to her and describing their future life. And then when they go on that walk in the forest and everything like that, I'm like, oh, the movie concludes here. In the face of black, I tap on the screen. I'm like, 30 minutes? What do you mean? Like
30 minutes of credits.
Yeah, so some notes that I have for overall enjoyment is the opening credits was pretty unique with the the characters on a white background in like the storybook, if I'm remembering correctly. I liked that. I loved that the rooster and the badger shot down the snake with a banjo as a bow and arrow. That was pretty great.
Man. So, like, I want to say one thing real quick, Joey, because, again, my coworker, I will give him a sad name, Jason, was telling me about the opening credits and how the opening credits is one of the best things in the movie. And that's what I was watching, like you said, it's really unique. And I was like, not gonna lie, this is actually pretty cool. I wasn't expecting the credits to be played out this way.
Right. They're getting better at it right in time for them to stop doing them.
My daughter, for some weird reason, when we were watching Winnie the Pooh, she finally looks at me and she's like, "Dad, when did they?" She's like, "When did they start putting the credits at the end of the movie?"
That's a real question. Did you give her an answer?
Well, I didn't give her an exact answer because I didn't want to go and look it up. But I gave her the reasoning of, hey, they used to have the credits in the beginning of the movie because people would actually watch the credits because they wanted to watch the movie.
Nice.
Otherwise, if it's at the end, then people will just leave once the credits start rolling.
Yeah.
That's clever. I like the way you handle that. Option select.
Miss Cluck was amazing. She flipped that sheriff with ease, and then planting the rhinos into the ground was incredible.
Bro, yeah, her whole thing. She is the greatest football player ever. Put her on your team.
The fight scene was actually pretty great. I enjoyed that scene until I realized that it was not the end. And then it became a heist movie, so I like heist movies. So there gets a little bit of props for that. I sure did like the oodalali thing that they kept saying. No clue what it means or why they said it, but it's pretty sweet.
That's why, because it was pretty sweet.
Yep, you don't need a reason.
And then I sure did not like that Little John would put his thumb in his mouth and cry for his mommy all the time. What kind of character arc is that?
His name was Little John for a reason. Wait, no, that wasn't Little John.
No, wait. That's not Little John.
Prince John. Sorry.
I was going to say, Little John is the bear.
That's what happens when you have two characters with the same name.
Little John is Baloo 2.0.
Yeah, it's just Baloo with a different color.
Baloo be jumping across Disney media like crazy.
See, Baloo himself is a multi-dimensional traveler, and he takes the form of whatever he needs to.
He's actually Baloo in that, though, so I guess that kind of doesn't count.
I mean, he's still traveling, though.
That's his original dimension. Because that's when he first shows up.
Yeah.
And now every time we see a character just like him, that's going to be him, but taking a different form for whatever timeline he's in. Dimension. Traversal being.
I like it. So what would you guys rate your overall enjoyment?
The overall enjoyment, I'll give it a 7.
Oh, dang, I'm not ready for this. Sorry.
He shot the question, but he didn't catch the bullet.
What comes after yellow? Green? Okay. Hang on.
But yeah, to elaborate a little bit while he's getting this all set, on the parts where I'm saying I feel like the movie takes a long time, it was actually a lot of the action scenes for me was I felt like a lot of them are very like a lot of them were dragged out to a point that I'm like I feel like this could have ended a lot sooner, but they did a lot of that like cartoon chase humor, and I think that was really popular around that time, so it's probably why they did it. But it went on for a very like that's the part where I'm like this feels like this is going on for a very long time, that I feel like a lot of this could have been cut so it would have been a little bit more maintained, less chaotic feeling. And the movie itself then would be a little bit shorter. I'm not saying it needs to be, I'm just saying it would have been from just cutting some of that.
Dequan, what did you say? 10?
No, whoa! What are you doing here, brother?
I'm guessing you didn't say 10.
I'm maybe wearing the hat, the glasses, and the can and everything, but I did not say 10. I said 7.
Okay. My bad.
That's my next Halloween costume next year. I'm dressing
That's
up like
sweet.
I'm dressing up as beggar Robin Hood.
That is amazing. Kevin,
so he's gonna be asking for everyone else's candy instead of giving it out.
Absolutely.
6.
Mike,
I would say a 7.
I'm going 5.
Oh, he said straight down the middle.
So storyline and plot. The movie is about Robin Hood. What?
I like the storyline and the plot. Like I said, my biggest problem was the fact that it was all over the place. Like it wasn't a direct, like straight timeline. Like
No.
they're talking about things that happened in the past, but you never saw those things that happened in the past. But then you see things that happen currently, then you're not seeing things that supposed to be happening currently. He ends up saving her and marrying her, allegedly, but you don't see her again. Until it's just how does the events take place?
Yeah, it is a bit scattered.
Yeah, so the storyline, real quick, is Robin Hood steals from the rich, gives to the poor, as you know the story of Robin Hood, and then he does it so much that it makes Prince John very angry, so he starts taxing people even more, and then Robin Hood just keeps stealing, so he keeps taxing, and he keeps stealing, he keeps taxing, and then they have to steal all the money at the end.
You know something I thought of, Joey?
What?
So you know how Prince John raised the taxes to like maximum tax collector, and everyone was pretty much locked up? When you think about it this way, it was better that way. But hear me out. They get free meals. They don't got to pay no more.
That's not entirely true. Did they get free meals?
Well, we didn't see them get free meals, but surely they were getting free meals, right?
In today's prison system, they would be, but they were thrown into a dungeon. They could have just been left there to rot.
And I think they were making some of them work. Like, weren't the little raccoons that were being thrown back in there, weren't they just out like mining or something for them?
Not my boy.
You want to take that back, or are you still saying that is better?
I mean, honestly, you got some. It's a smidget better. It's not that much better, but it's a smidget.
But better than what?
Better than what they were dealing with before. They were like run down houses, cold, only having like one dime to their name, barely being able to afford food.
So sleeping in a tower on a stone ground with possibly no food, having to work for free, no bed.
See, you say working for free, but they're just working for their food.
But if they're not getting food, they're not working for anything.
That's hypothetically speaking.
It's hypothetical to think that they're getting food.
You're right.
Why are we trying to make imprisonment work?
I'm not.
Man, I'm just stating what I feel could be possible, good more so than bad.
So back onto the thing with the plot. I actually think, this is going to be weird, maybe, I actually think the plot is decent. I think it has two different arcs that play out in two different ways. So the first one you get to see is like Robin Hood stealing from the rich, who becomes kind of our antagonist. What was his name? King? No, Prince.
Jean.
Prince John.
Prince Jean.
Yeah. So they steal from him, and then they go around and they have him giving that out to the poor, and then that leads into the whole thing with him and this girl Marion that apparently he had known, and then from there it goes back to she's being basically held under some type of, I don't think captivity, but she's basically in the same house with, again, going back into our Prince John. So it goes right back into that whole thing towards she's connected with him, to then him going into that competition to get her back. So then we get that kind of conclusion of meeting her and then her coming back with him, to then having to go back and reface our antagonist here, being Prince John again, solving that issue that was left unsolved, and then him having the happy ending with Marion. It's kind of like this back and forth that all kind of connect with each other. So I think it's decent. It's not well done because they don't do a lot of elaborating, a lot of in-depth things like that, because they didn't do it a lot around that time. But it has a nice back and forth to where it kind of keeps it in its like same line.
Okay. Some notes that I have is that Robin Hood's disguises were fantastic. His beggar costume,
Yes.
his crane costume, or stork, or whatever you want to call him.
Oh yeah, the stork was amazing.
He was a legend at that.
I will also say this:
His fortune teller.
Little John fooled me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I looked away from the screen for 2 seconds, where he dressed as the lady bear, and I was like, "Yo!" I'm like, "When did she become part of the movie?" Like, I was fooled. They got me.
Competing for a kiss from Marion, a bit odd, but okay. Little John put a knife to Prince John's back and held him hostage at one point.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Homie,
extreme.
you know? Extreme. He was saving his brother.
Little John hit the sheriff with the nastiest uppercut during the fight scene. Pretty slick system to steal. Oh no, it wasn't during the fight scene. It was right before the heist, when the guard wakes up from his nap. He just rocks him. It was a pretty slick system to steal that money, though. They built like a pulley system, and it was good.
All right.
And it worked out, and they got every last dime too.
My next note, speaking of that, is stupid Robin Hood got greedy and went back for the last bag, which
Got every last dime. Yep.
Respectfully,
They went and took every last penny from them. He's doing a right on back.
But it
That's
almost
not
cost them
greed.
the entire
That's
thing.
payback.
It almost cost them the entire plan.
and on top of that, to be fair, all of them got
The
greedy
rest
to a
of the
certain
world.
extent. Like, even like, Little John got greedy when he started taking like the caps on the carriage. I was like, dude, what are you doing? And then he saw the treasure chest and he was like, I'm not done. And I was like, please be done.
Wait, so actually, funny enough, you bring up the treasures. How in the heck, with the Rhino guards watching, how did he sneak past them?
Fun fact about rhinos: rhinos can barely actually see, which is why they're so hostile.
Dang, that is a terrible. I mean, strong, yes, but terrible watch cards.
After the
Good
heist,
God, he's
that
redoing
castle
this
went up
whole
in
thing.
flames so quick. We had another Disney fake death. I'm pretty sure we've had one in every single movie so far. Was there one in Aristocats? Probably not.
Not to my knowledge. I don't remember one being in there.
Okay, so I take that back. And who was the fake death in this movie? I don't remember.
Robin Hood.
Okay.
It was.
You don't remember him jumping off the tower and then landing in the water and then blasting them with arrows and only the hat coming up?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then my last note was, I thought King Richard died, and that's why all this was happening, but then he comes back at the end, so where was he?
I
He
was
on
wondering that
vacation.
too.
They said when he comes back, I don't know where he was, but they said when he comes back, you'll see it, and they want him back. So he maybe went on vacation to London. They kept talking about London.
Okay. That's all I have for storyline and plot. So what would you guys give it out of 10?
I did enjoy the story. I did enjoy the plot, but it being, kind of sloppy, I'm gonna give it a 7 as well.
So, I love the story. The whole Robin Hood story. It's classic. But with the inconsistencies and the jumping around in this one, I'm gonna go 5.
Mike?
I'm gonna give it a 7.
So, unlike you, Mike, I don't think that they did a good job of telling this legend like The Sword in the Stone and Sleepy Hollow, so it's going to get a low grade just like they did. Sword in the Stone got a 6, so I guess that's alright, but I'm giving this one a 5.
Look at that, Mike. Redemption for Sword in the Stone after all.
I don't know if it's redemption. It's more or less just like keep saying like, just like those, they don't do a good job at retelling, and I can kind of give that.
So
because with the legend of Robin Hood is about him stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, and that does become like a thing in the movie, but it's not like the main thing. It's more just like, yeah, you already know about that, so we'll just let that be in the background of, yeah, that's what he does. He did it once, we got it. He'll do it again at the end, but let's do all this other stuff. So I can get that.
And to speak on Sword in the Stone real quick, ever since I've watched it and we did the episode, for a little bit there, every day I was starting to like it, remembering parts that I liked more and more. So it would probably get a decently higher grade in my book now. I mean, maybe not decently higher. What did I give it? A 38? It would definitely get more than a 38 now.
It would at least be 40.
Yeah, I can't promise it would hit 50, but
that's something.
So next up is
Better
characters.
Sleepy Hollow. Or Ichabod and Mr. Toad. I would not give that.
Usually I have nothing bad to say about the characters, except for Ichabod and Mr. Crane. That was Ichabod and Mr. Crane. No, Ichabod and Mr. Toad. That was not good. But yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of. I mean, there's some good ones, but there's just the character development behind them is just not good.
To be honest, I don't really think any of the characters really have a character development.
Yeah.
Every character kind of stays how they are.
Yeah, and just like pops in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like my first.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, maybe there is a character, but no, they don't really change.
My first note is that they tried to capture the love of Baloo with Little John by just making him the same person. So
yeah,
that was lazy.
Quite literally.
Prince John had a great design, but I hated his character traits. Why'd they have to make him a wimpy villain?
Because not every villain needs to be strong in that way.
I guess.
So to be honest, he's just the one who really calls the shots. To me, I absolutely hate. So him, I could honestly be like Prince John, whatever. I hated the tax collector guy.
The sheriff of Nottingham.
He literally made me mad in the beginning.
Yes,
I was so mad in the beginning. Like when he shows up to get the money from the priest guy, the dog, the rabbit fan. I was so mad that whole segment. I was like,
unironically,
I want to punch him in the face.
Like him.
So my note on that is the sheriff is such a cocky dude. He would just go in there with all the swagger, just being like, "You guys can't do anything to me, so I'm just gonna mess with you."
He was so petty. He'd be like, "Oh, I heard you got money. Oh, yeah, I understand you want money, but mine." I'm like, I hate this dude. I hate him.
Dequan, I bet you liked that croc assistant.
Man, I want to like him, but like, hear me out. He didn't do a lot, but his voice was top notch. Love his voice. It was beautiful.
Um,
No.
the Executioner Rhino looked amazing.
I don't remember him. Let me do some Google
And
search.
then last note I have is I really liked Friar Tuck's design and character. Something about him. You know,
Who was that?
the little church guy.
Hmm.
The little mole, if you want to call him that.
I liked the rooster that played the banjo, even though I wasn't.
I
I'll
hated
say
him.
that
Me
later.
Hated him.
I thought he was
Okay.
cool. He was like a chill guy who just wanted to play his music.
It didn't help at all with anything.
I don't know. He did shoot that arrow with his banjo.
He did.
And he was just kind of cool, man. He looked cool. He sounded cool. He narrated the movie, making sure we stayed in the loop. That's kind of my guy.
Yeah, he was a cool guy. I liked him.
Kevin, you got anything to say about characters?
Not really.
Wait, we're on
Just-
characters?
Yeah. What do you think we're on?
What was the one before this?
Storyline.
I thought we were still like wrapping up. Okay, well, I ain't know we was on characters. Kevin, you go ahead. I'll explain afterwards.
You scored storyline and plot and everything.
It's a Monday. I'm catching up.
I don't have much to add to characters. Just like, I don't know. They focus on, Robin Hood and, more so on Robin Hood and Little John. And everybody else was there, but I mean, they did a good job of making the sheriff the bad guy and Prince
Yeah.
John. But other than that, there wasn't much backstory and not so much development.
Hmm. So what did you want to say, Dequan?
Okay, I liked not all, but almost near all the characters in the movie because like they were kind of lively, like very lively. Like I liked Robin Hood, and at the beginning I was like, I like the rooster a lot too. And then like that one scene where like I forgot her name, the Maid Marian, where Maid Marian was in the garden, and then the hen lady, I don't remember her name either, but the hen lady
Miss
and the
Clark.
kids came back there. That entire scene I just enjoyed so much. I'm like, I like these characters. I don't like the kids though. I don't like those kids, and I don't like that turtle. I really don't like the turtle, man. But like everybody else, I kind of like. Even though like the tax collector was just Buns, the sheriff, I unironically liked him because I'll explain why I unironically liked him. I unironically liked him because like one, I hate how serious he took his job or how much he enjoyed his job. But two, I loved how much he enjoyed his job. Like he wasn't letting anything stop him for being a scumbag. And that was like it was priceless to me. But
In the worst
was
of
sa-
ways.
yeah, in the worst of ways. I even like Sir Hiss. Sir Hiss was cool. He was kind of like Ka from Jungle Book, but like more tolerable because he was actually trying to do good by Prince John. Prince John was just dumb. But yeah, that's about it.
So what would you give characters out of 10?
Oh, the character is actually a 9 for me.
All right. Kevin.
I think I'm gonna keep it down the middle at a 5.
Mike.
I'm gonna say a 10.
Wow. All right.
Characters
So-
aren't offensive really in any way. The bad guys do a good job of being the bad guys and making you dislike them. I don't think there's really any character that really is a bad
turtle.
character per se.
The turtle.
Disagree.
So I was gonna
Turtle
give
does a good job of being a little nerdy kid who's scared. He does his job.
I was going
I don't
to
like the
give
tax collector, but he does his job.
Yeah. I was going to give it a 5, but I looked up what the characters were just to get a refresher on what they look like, And there's some pretty solid character design work going. Like Friar Tuck looks great. Robin Hood looks amazing. And for apparently a lot of girls growing up had crushes on Robin Hood. Seems a bit odd, but you know, I guess that's fine.
Not
Hey,
really
man.
surprised by that.
Guys, girls, people have crush on Lola Bunny, bro.
That's true. That's true.
I think some people even had a crush on that one fish from Shark Tale.
Oh,
Okay.
jeez. Yep, that's a good point.
Okay. Gotta cap that information.
I'm just saying, man.
That's a fair
People
point.
on the internet are people on the internet, man.
Yeah. Prince John's design was great. The sheriff was all right. The Rooster's design was all right, I guess. But I do have to knock them for Little John just being a carbon copy. So I'm gonna go with a 6. I want to go 7, but I'm gonna go 6.
Actually, I'm gonna lower mine. I'm gonna make it a 9.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like because 10, I feel like it's trying to say they're perfect, and I don't really feel like they're perfect. I just feel like they're not offensive.
Oh my
They do their
goodness,
job.
Mickey,
They
do
do what
not
they're
throw
supposed to
up.
do. They
not
fill
throw
what
up
they're
in here.
supposed to do. They fill their role. I can't say they're perfect.
But they're dang near perfect.
I
Well,
wanna
yeah, because
say
they're not
something.
offensive. There's no one really too offensive, I'd say, as a character.
I just want to say something real quick. I just looked up the Rooster's name. His name is Alan Nadell. That name's amazing. That's all.
What?
It was Alan Nadell.
Alan Dedetto?
No, Alan Adele.
Alan Adele?
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay, I'm back. I got
I
the
never
dog
picked up
outside.
his name. My man was cool, though.
It was definitely cool. Welcome back, Joey.
Yeah, dog's outside. Didn't throw up in the house. Next up is visuals and animation. I was not a fan of the animation. The characters and the backgrounds looked like they were 2 different movies.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying there.
I've never paid attention to the background, to be honest. The only background piece there's a few pieces to keep in mind. There's the forest when they were going on the little moonwalk. Then there was the area where they were doing the archery contest, and then the garden and the castle where the kids and the 2 ladies were interacting. Those are the only 3 backgrounds to pay much attention to.
I do have to give them props, though, for being able to make a snake cross his arms.
That was so cool.
I could feel the pouting from here.
I did like the woods at night when Marion and Robin were smashing. That whole scene was pretty good.
Huh?
So Disney has a waterfall smashing trope when 2 characters meet up and they're giving each other sexy eyes and it's getting all romantic. It's nighttime and then they show a waterfall.
I did hear correctly. Okay, I was wondering. I'm like, huh?
That didn't happen in The Lion King.
Yep.
Lion King, they rolled down a hill and smashed.
And they were playing in a water with a waterfall.
All right.
Moving
If we're going at that point,
Moving
I mean, it's like,
on.
well, I mean, I guess they always got to play in water. Oh boy.
Hey, if you don't think that there was a waterfall in that scene, then you're crazy.
Not
there
in that
was.
scene. It was
There
the
was a
scene
waterfall
before.
in that scene.
There was a waterfall in the scene before that.
No. That whole scene of them playing with each other is the scene.
Nah, they ran
They
down.
showed
They rolled down a
waterfall,
hill.
and then they cut to them smashing.
So now I'm just gonna. Am I expected to think every time I see waterfall,
In
they're like,
Disney,
oh, they smashing?
someone's
Listen,
smashing.
Disney.
I'm gonna see a mother and her son walking and be like, oh,
What?
well, Joey put that on me now.
No.
Hey, if that's what the story calls for.
No.
You know something I wondered, by the way?
What?
That's okay.
So, Maid Marian is the niece of Prince John.
Is the what?
The niece. Maid Marian's Prince John's niece.
Is she?
Yes.
What?
You guys don't remember that?
No.
Did you guys watch the same movie? What's going on here?
Mm,
Kevin, you remember it? Please tell you.
uh,
Oh my god. Y'all
wait,
didn't-
what am I remembering?
Maid Marian is the niece of Prince John. He's her uncle.
I know she was related somehow. I didn't remember how though.
But I'm just trying to figure out how does that timeline works. Not timeline, how does that family tree works? She's a fox. He's a lion.
Hey man, we don't know. No.
No. She's the niece of King Richard.
And guess what?
It's not stated how. She doesn't appear to be related to Prince John. I just looked it up.
But Prince John,
King Richard is a lion.
yeah, King Richard's alive.
Prince
He
John's
is
alive.
Prince John's older brother and a ruler of England. Which
So
will
Marian-
make her still the niece.
Because Marion could be Prince John or King Richard's wife.
Oh, it's by
family.
marriage.
Yeah.
They're not related by blood.
So
Okay.
King Richard could be married to a fox.
Ah.
Mike, Mike, real quick, I do have another note about the waterfalls. As I said, every time characters are giving each other sexy eyes, they cut to a waterfall to symbolize the flowing juices of love.
Bro.
Wow.
I think I spent too much time on this segment.
Bambi, this, and Lion King. That's all I have for visuals and animation, so I will. I'm gonna give that a 3.
I will give visuals and animation another 7.
I'm going with the 4 because it wasn't anything special. It wasn't nothing stuck out. It wasn't like, wow, you know, did you see the color pop there? That background was great. It just, eh.
I'll give it an 8.
He likes the waterfalls.
I like the flowing juices of love.
Music and soundtrack is next. I actually really liked Oodalali, and
Yes.
The Phony King was alright. And
So-
I don't know if there's any other music.
I'll be honest, like, to be completely honest. I don't think the music was bad, but I don't remember the music at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. Not my cup of tea at all.
Alright.
All right.
Joe over here, like, I like it.
I mean, like, it had one really good standout song.
I think
You
that's
know?
a bit of a stretch. Oodalali was okay.
Robin Hood and Little John. Okay, well, I listen to a lot of Disney music. Okay, so
It's-
I have heard it several times. It's catchy. It's got a
Yeah.
nice jingle. It's got a beat to it. It's
Yeah.
good. It's a good song.
I mean,
listen to-
I'll give you the other things of it's catchy. You know, it's got a beat to it. It's something that I like. I feel like would be playing at like a family gathering, but I ain't listening to that on my own.
I listen to Disney music all the time, but I have my own Disney playlist, and that song is not on my Disney playlist.
See, you're closed-minded. You need to listen to other people's Disney playlists too.
Alright, I'm gonna go see if my dog's ready to come in. I'll be right back. You guys discuss Disney playlists, I guess.
Who listens to strictly Disney music? How many times a week?
Ooh, yeah, about that. I listen to it, but I don't listen to it repeatedly enough. I listen to Kingdom Hearts music. Does that count?
I'd say I listen to Disney music, like strictly Disney playlists, whether it be like the Disney, like satellite radio or Disney Apple playlists or Disney something at least for an hour, at least 3 times a week.
Okay.
And people are like, oh, well, doesn't it get repetitive? And I'm like, okay, it's good music though.
Yeah, I feel like you could say about any song. It's like if you listen to it a lot, couldn't it get repetitive? Could. Yeah, anything can become repetitive if you let it. I feel like
true.
that's just like based on the type of person you are or what you like. Like my music playlist is chaotic. I could go to listening to video game OSTs, to like drum and bass, and then over to like maybe some Disney songs I have, into like anime openings. Like my music playlist is all over the place.
Oh yeah, that's
Not
where mine
organized.
is. Mine is
Shuffle.
wild, but that's why I'm talking about just strictly dedicated Disney. You know,
Yeah,
I guess I'm unique for that though.
I have my music playlist where it's everything, but then I also have a Disney playlist. And then if I'm feeling country, I have a country playlist where it's just my country songs. Or classic rock, I have my country rock playlist. Country rock? Classic rock is what I meant.
I think a lot of it's because I use YouTube for my music, and I don't feel like having to constantly make playlists for different soundtracks. I kind of just have one.
Yeah, that'd probably be pretty difficult on YouTube.
And this is more or less like I'm not willing to put the time towards it. It's not necessarily hard, but it's time consuming.
Yeah.
And I just don't feel like doing all that work.
So, Dequan, what would you give music out of 10?
Since I don't really remember much of the songs, I'm gonna give it 4. Because the songs that were there weren't bad, but not enough.
I'm going to agree with you and give it a 4 as well.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. Like I said, the one good song that sticks out is saving it for me, but that's saving it from anything lower than a 4.
See, I'm in a tough spot now because I want to be honest with myself here, but I want to give it a clean sweep. If I were to be honest with myself, it would be somewhere between like a 2 or a 3. Probably a 3 because I don't think it's horrible. It's just not my cup of tea. I'll be a team player. I'll go with 4.
Okay. So next up, what is that? Humor. I don't know. I think Aristocats was funnier.
Really? I'll be honest. I thought this was funnier, and there's a particular scene that still has me somewhat chuckling and smiling. Like, if we all are the same person, y'all would know what scene I'm referring to. And it's like when he comes to that kid's house for his birthday, and he tells him to open it up, and he just yoinks his only coin. I felt bad for laughing, but that was funny, dude. He did not care.
So dark.
Oh, so sad. You gotta pay your taxes, though.
Like, it was just like the realest thing ever. I relate to that kid, man, because when I gotta pay bills, it feels just like that.
I liked when Prince John said, "You hear that hiss?" And then he goes, "Of course not. He's in a basket." Or when Little John stole the damn hubcaps.
Oh, yes.
The gold. They're pure gold.
Robin Hood dressed up as that blind guy was kind of funny. And
yeah,
watching Dequan's avatar on Discord is just making it better.
This is my favorite Robin Hood disguise.
Kevin, did you know that every time he talks, it's Robin Hood shaking the can?
It's a beautiful sight, isn't it?
oh my goodness. I did not see that until now.
I came prepared for the occasion.
It's incredible.
Nice.
Prince John was what? Oh, he was tickled by being called PJ by Little John when he was pretending
that
to
was
be...
cute. That was cute.
He liked it. I liked when the little turtle said "Go, Dad" when no one else was cheering for him. And then when Hiss was singing about how bad Prince John was, and then Prince John walks in.
Yeah, he was not liking it. Can we just talk about how like everybody collectively was just roasting Prince John throughout the movie? Oh wait,
Sucked.
Joey, I'm amazed you did not mention the two birds. What was their name? It was Trigger and what was the other one? Something.
Oh,
I want to say Nutsy.
Oh,
Nutsy, yeah. The two
the
vultures.
guards.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
amazed you didn't mention them. I feel like they would have got a nice little like giggle out of you.
I don't know, man. I barely remember this movie.
yeah, it's
Oh,
been a while.
shame.
No, this it had some good humor in this one.
I'm just gonna give it a 5. Just go down the middle.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
Wow.
I'm
I
going
was
with a
smiling.
Yeah, there was some good funny parts. I mean, it really helped the movie overall. I'm going with a 7.
I thought of one more scene. One last scene I remember is when he was burning the food in the pot, and like the pastor was drinking the soup or whatever it was. And he starts coughing, and his eyes start turning red and watering. But dude goes back in for another spoon. I'm like, bro, it's not for you. Stop.
Friar Tuck's good.
I'm gonna give it a 4.
4. Wow, Mike didn't like it at all.
It had moments. It had its funny moments. I just didn't really verbally laugh out loud like that.
Yep. So for world building, I
So-
didn't make any notes.
Though, real quick.
Yep.
Just going into the scene where Dino Serrari came in and took that poor kid's coin. I will say that was kind of skilled the way he like threw that coin in that cup to make all the coins jump out. I was like, you know what? I can't be mad at the skill, but I hate you.
Yeah, that was impressive.
So world building, I didn't take. I didn't take any notes for world building. They went a lot of places, but it just didn't feel very immersive.
I 100% agree with you on that.
Yeah.
The only bit that is is the courtyard of the castle during the heist scene. That kind of a little bit, because you understand where everything is during that scene. But
Bro.
Yeah, and like they build how like poor the town is and how it's getting more and more run down. They talk about how it used to be.
Something I do like though, and it goes back to the town, like what you were just saying, Kevin, is like at the end of the movie, the town looked amazing. Like
Yeah.
life was brought back to it because King and Richard came back. I was like, I like how the town looks now. It looks lively.
what's up, Mike? You see
No,
what
I
did?
thought of something. I'm not gonna
Oh.
say, but I just thought of something.
What did you think of?
I'm not gonna say
Why?
because I don't want to say it.
Oh, don't want to get canceled?
Oh, I won't get it canceled. It's just it might be a little inappropriate, so I'm just gonna keep it to myself.
Like you're gonna kill my curiosity. Just type it in the chat, bro.
I'll
Please.
tell you at the end.
Gonna forget.
You'll find out at the end.
All right. Well, I'll give world building a 4.
I think I can divvy it up with a 4 as well. Actually, I'll take that back. I'm gonna give it a 6 because I really like the garden that they were playing in.
No, I'm going with 4.
Give that a 2.
Yeah, I thought about going that low.
Not trying to be mean, but I'm just like, we've seen some really cool world building at this point. And this one just kind of felt like it just stayed in a very specific spot.
Absolutely correct.
So, next up is emotional impact. And there is a really small scene in this movie that I think has a big impact on the emotional impact. And it's when they showed Marion and Robin Hood connect through their eyes at the
Windows of the
competition.
Soul.
Yep.
I think they did that very well. Because she didn't know who he was because he was a stork or whatever he was supposed to be. But then she knew who he was when she saw his eyes.
Another thing at that scene too is like when she was crying for her own life to make sure he got saved.
Right.
So like, yeah, that was pretty nice.
The mom with all of her babies in prison was pretty rough. That whole scene was, to be fair, but
Also, big old bully walking into this poor house and being like, "Well, you got a coin, you gotta pay your taxes." Just yoinking that from a child.
I would say, so my emotional impact comes from the more lighter tone stuff, and like it was just nice seeing like just the amount of like, despite them being like robbed and everything like that, and them like not having the best luck, a lot of them were they were still happy, lively, found like solace in one another, and like I generally love that. I'm like, man, that shows keep your spirits up.
Honestly, I thought the scene with the garden, well, like I just think that's a very wholesome scene because it kind of led you up to believe that like, oh, everyone behind this castle is just, against like all the townspeople basically. And then when the kid goes in there and he's so scared, and it's like, well, no, actually these two are, the hen lady and Marion, are very kind, they're very caring. I'm like, this is just a wholesome scene here. And then they welcome them all in. I'm like, this is just wholesome.
I generally absolutely adore that entire scene from the garden, then into Maid Marian's room, like all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so because of the connecting through the eyes scene and the just how everybody like of the village comes together against Prince John, I'm going to actually give this a 4. And I know that seems low, but it doesn't have much more than Sword in the Stone, and Sword in the Stone was a 2, so at least it got more than that.
And just remember this, he gave Aristocats a 2 as well.
I did give Aristocats a 2.
So
this is high in the books of Joey.
I'm on the opposite fence here. Like, then Joey, I'm going to give this, and this may be a bit of a shocker, I'm actually going to give this a 10. Because I know it's a real shocker. I'm usually a negative Nancy, but like my entire like soul was at a happiness and peace during a lot of the scenes in this movie. The more happier scenes, because like when they did the happy scenes, like they were like truly like happy. And again, I'm gonna record player this. The garden scene was just it carries so much because it has, like Mike said, it shows that everybody in the castle were not bad people and did not dislike the townspeople. It shows the deep love between Robin Hood and Maid Marian. It shows her love for children. It shows the hen lady's love for the children and her love for her and her trust in her to meet with Robin Hood again. It was just a lot dumped into that one scene. So it just made me happy.
Yeah. To be fair, it's not that surprising because all of the movies that feature animals as the characters have insanely high ratings, except for Bambi, for emotion.
Look,
wait, from all of us or just
no,
from
him?
From me.
Yeah. Because Aristocats has 6, and that's on the low end, and then Jungle Book has 8, 101 Dalmatians has 10, Lady and the Tramp has 10, Bambi has 4, that's the outlier, Dumbo has 10.
Dumbo was beautiful.
We'll see what happens when he has to rate a movie with people in it. That's going to hit like a 1.
So Kevin, what do you think?
So, with emotional impact, I feel like it comes down a lot to the basis of this story in general. You know, the poor, the rich and the poor, you know, Robin Hood stealing from the rich, giving to the poor. And I feel like that's one thing I have to hand to this movie is they put a lot of emphasis on how, you know, how the prince holds down, you know, all the villagers, how he really just keeps pressing and pressing and pressing, and just, you know, just so the sheriff is so harsh about it.
Yeah.
But then there's also the highs, you know, the goods with, you know, Maid Marian and, you know, the Robin Hood, their love for each other, you know, just all of it. So I feel like if this movie did nothing else, it did the emotion well. So for that, I'm gonna give it a 7.
All right.
I'm gonna give it an 8. I think 8's good. I think it's perfect, actually.
I would hope so.
What do you hope so?
Well, I would hope that the scores that he is giving is the perfect scores in his head.
Oh, okay.
Not all of them. Some of them I feel like could either be lower or higher, but I feel like playing in the middle ground because I can't decide between lower or higher
Right.
fits. This one I'm like, I feel very comfortable giving this an 8. Not even a second guess in my head.
The message / theme, obviously, steal from the rich, give to the poor. That's the message of the theme of Robin Hood.
Don't be greedy. Give back to the people if you can. Be kind and courteous. Help those around you when you can, if you want to.
So my question is do we give this movie that props, or is that? Well, I mean, I guess we have to. It's the story.
Honestly,
it's not.
It
we
fit the agenda.
Yeah, but what? I mean, obviously I'm trying to think. Does the movie portray that message of the tale of Robin Hood? Because it kind of just shows like, hey, this guy's a jerk, so we're all gonna go against him and stop him. But at the same time, it's also like Robin Hood's finding love.
Well, I would say it does portray it relatively well. Like, I will say this though. Yes, the king is a jerk, but like without the king being present and him just stealing, you would be like, well, we don't know what this guy is like. For example, they were saying at the beginning of the movie that we got to stop stealing from people and saying that we're stealing. He's like, no, we're borrowing and we're giving to the poor. But we never saw the people that he stole from before, so we don't know what those people are like. But we get an inner workings of how the king is like.
Which is so the movie itself does a weird, strange thing with that too, because they make it sound like they've been doing it to other people, but they're just doing it to Prince John, and it's just because Prince John, since his father stepped away or whatever his father went to go do, he decided to implement getting more taxes for money for whatever reason. They never even clarify what the motive is. It's just I want money. I just want it all, just cause. So he implements, taxes and then higher taxes, even higher taxes. But then once the king basically comes back after, they really just steal from him and give back to the people he basically was like, you owe me it. And the king comes in and he's like, I guess I'm giving it all back now. So it's more just like his son funds doing that.
I feel that the first time he shows up as the beggar character to trick the sheriff and then he helps out that family, I think that in that scene they did a good job of portraying that he does this all the time because they knew who he was and what he was there to do.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going to give it a 7.
I will agree with you on the 7.
Yeah, that's about where I was. Honestly, a 7.
Don't do this to me again. Why do you do this to me again? I'm kidding. I was thinking 7 as well.
Wow. Look at us go. And last is Legacy. This movie is a movie that I had never seen before. I had never wanted to see it before. I don't think there's any representation in any of the parks. I don't even think any of the characters are in any of the parades. So, in terms of legacy, I don't think there is any. Did it win any awards, Kevin?
It has a legacy. It's not a big legacy.
It was nominated. The song was nominated for an Oscar.
Fair enough. Legacy.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like anything really happened too much with this movie.
If it got nominated, I'll give it a 1. Other than that, it has no legacy in my mind.
Yeah, I respect that. For me, I will say it has a bigger legacy due to the fact that Robin Hood has been across the internet for a lot of memes and a lot of other art in a different way. And then on top of that, he airs in several episodes of House of Mouse.
Does he?
And yeah, he airs in several episodes of House of Mouse. And some characters, Ichabod and Mr. Toad, does not air in House of Mouse. So he got something going for him there. So for me, even though
Once Upon a Studio?
What's up?
Was he in Once Upon a Studio?
I don't know exactly. I didn't look that up. I just remember that when I was watching House of Mouse when I was younger, he aired in several episodes.
Wait a minute. Was Ichabod and Mr. Toad have anything in the parks?
Oh, in the parks? Yeah. There's a Sleepy Hollow restaurant, and the Headless Horseman leads the Boo to You parade.
Oh, I Mr. Toad, though.
Mr. Toad, he used to have
about
a ride
Mr.
and they
Toad?
got rid of it. They replaced it with Winnie the Pooh.
I think he has a statue or a fountain.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe in Disneyland because the ride.
How the heck does that have something, but Robin Hood has nothing?
Well, there's a Liberty Square. There's a Liberty Square in Disney World, so they really don't have anything for that other than that movie.
That's still more than Robin Hood. What?
Well, look at it this way, Mike. The internet likes Robin Hood more than it likes Ichabod and Mr. Toad. All right, so
I'm starting a petition.
But for me, legacy,
That is
I would give
true.
the legacy a 4.
The audience score for Ichabod and Mr. Toad was a 71, and it is an 81 for Robin Hood.
Yeah,
Because it's a better movie.
It was the highest grossing movie to date,
Was
for when it was released. Yeah,
All right, I'll bump it up to a 2 then.
it did the best, taking in $9.5 million.
Sure.
I'm kind of right on board with you guys with the legacy. I mean, it has its place, but it didn't really have a lasting effect.
Dequan, what did you say?
I'm gonna go with a 2.
I gave it a 4. Kevin gave it a 2.
And Mike.
I'm gonna give it a 3.
All
It
right.
deserves better.
So that is all of the categories. In last place is me, not shocking, with a 45. Honestly, that is a lot lower than I thought it was going to be. Next up is Kevin, which continues to surprise me, with a 51. And then Mike with a 59, and Dequan with a 69.
The highest again, not surprising.
Yeah, that's really low for me. There's not many below that.
Aristocats was.
Aristocats
By literally
was-
1 point. So is Sword in the Stone.
Yeah,
What is it?
bummer.
Oh, and then Alice in Wonderland.
Okay, so I guess it is a highly rated movie in my book then at the moment.
Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Bambi. Fantasia.
Well, yes, Fantasia is my least favorite movie.
And Snow White.
Yeah, Snow White, yeah.
You have a lot that are lower than that.
Yeah. It's in the top 5, probably.
45 makes the top 5, baby. Let's go.
For Bell's fan fiction section, we haven't really dived into this too much because there hasn't really been any for these movies, but I have something that is going to make 2 movies that I don't like and a movie that I love a lot better if it is canonized by Disney.
I disagree.
What?
I was saying I disagree.
Oh, okay.
Just because I was being petty.
Yeah. This movie, not the best. Chicken Little, not the best. Zootopia, pretty dang great. My theory is, it's not really a theory, but a way to make two of them better is just put them all in the same universe. Make all of them a connected universe.
Man, spoiler alert.
You're trying to put
why?
Chicken Little.
How?
Why not? Robin Hood took place in medieval times. Chicken Little takes place in whatever year it came out. So what's the big deal of it being in the same universe? And then Zootopia is just a few years later.
But what does that do for it? What makes
It
it
just
that
makes
that's
it-
that makes it better
It just
now
gives it
because
more lore.
but they don't play into each other.
But you could.
Not at all.
This is literally the definition of a fan fiction.
my idea.
Holy
Because
crap!
Zootopia 2 is coming out. So my idea to make them all connected is just have a shot where Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde, is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
They're driving somewhere and they drive past a museum and there's a banner that says Robin Hood exhibit with a picture of Robin Hood, and then have Buck and Chicken Little just walking into the museum. You don't even a split second, and then you connect all three movies.
Or how you do it, you make a little book, because there's the book of the little boy who cried wolf. You make a book that says the little chicken that cried about the sky falling.
Yeah.
But I disagree.
Well, there's nothing to confirm that.
Are you just going off based off like humanoid animals?
Well,
Like,
is it there's three movies with humanoid animals, and there are three movies that can easily just be tied together in the same universe. Because they take place, because obviously in Zootopia they show that Zootopia isn't the only place in the world, because she comes from Bunny Burrow or whatever, so Chicken Little's town can just be somewhere else in the world, and then Robin Hood took place so many years ago.
Wait, does that mean Mr. Toad?
If
Like,
you wanted to connect that one too, sure.
I don't want
Go
any
to
of
Toad
this.
Manor in Zootopia 2. You just made it better.
Oh no.
Have Mr. Toad
No.
still be alive as a super old toad.
I don't like this. I want to leave.
I like it. I hope they do it. Because Chicken Little's so terrible. They need something to make it at least somewhat enjoyable.
Encanto is a terrible movie too.
Hey, you can say that to try to rile me up, but you haven't seen it, so. I've seen
There's
Chicken
a
Little.
reason I only watch good movies.
I have seen Chicken Little.
Spoiler alert. That's going to be the first animal movie I give a 0.
There's
oh
some,
my goodness.
There's some emotion to that. I won't give that a 0 for emotion. Because Chicken Little has a dad who doesn't listen to him. But we'll get into that when we get to Chicken Little.
We'll get into that when we get into that, he says.
So for
Please
Riley's emotion, what was everyone's favorite and least favorite moment of the movie?
I don't think I need to say my favorite moment. But my least favorite moment.
Wait, what is your favorite moment? I don't know it. Did you like the archery scene?
My favorite moment was the waterfall. Oh God, no!
Wow.
I was looking at a picture. I was looking at a picture of a waterfall. I meant to say my favorite moment is the garden. Jesus Christ! It was the garden. Kevin, help me! It was the garden. My least favorite moment. Oh God, do I have a least favorite moment? I think my least favorite moment was any moment that Ka Jr., aka Sir Hiss, was being abused by Prince John. Outside of the one scene where he was in the balloon, man, he deserved that one. But every other scene, I hate those scenes where he was being treated so poorly by that guy.
Kevin,
So
the waterfall scene.
least favorite would be when the sheriff takes from the kid. I get like it was needed for the story, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. Favorite scene was the archery scene. Just all of
What
it.
was your least favorite?
When the sheriff steals the gold coin from the kid.
Oh, gotta pay your taxes.
Mike.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Favorite scene is gonna be. I'm actually gonna say it's the garden as well. It's a nice scene. It gives them wholesome vibes. Least favorite will be anytime that tax collector came and just stole money from people, like with the dog, where he heard once he heard that money in that cast, he was like, "Let me just lift up your leg real quick and get all my coins." And then he started smacking his already broken leg to get more money. Like,
He's a wild
annoying. And then he came and robbed from a child on his birthday, no less. Nah, that man. Any scene that he came in to do stuff like that, awful. Get him out of here.
I think I'm going to say the fight scene was my favorite because it was just fun, stupid action. Least favorite is when the heist was going completely well and they would have been clear and gone, but Robin Hood decides to go for the last bag and then almost kills himself because of it. So everyone's we're just gonna skip song because you guys don't even like the music. So there's only 2 songs. So
Yeah.
Favorite and least favorite character, Dequan, go.
Oh, that's so tough, dude. That's so tough. Because like when I was first watching it, I'm like, it's this Alan Liddell, and I was like, nah, because then I started liking the Hen. Then I started liking Maid Marian. Then I started liking Robin Hood. Then I started liking Little John. And I'm like, man, there's too many characters. If I have to choose one.
Yeah.
It's so difficult actually. I think I'm gonna go with the Hen.
Miss Cluck?
The Hen. Yeah, Miss Cluck. I'm gonna go with Miss Cluck. She was just too cool. Like she still wanted smoke too. Like after they got done firing arrows, she wasn't done, bro. She still wanted to fight.
Yeah. Who's your least favorite?
My least favorite. This should be no brainer to everybody, but my least favorite was not Little John. Sorry, King John, Prince John.
So fun fact, the podcast that I was listening to that inspired this, one of the hosts, there we go, got the word out, his all-time favorite Disney character is Prince John.
Ain't no way.
What's wrong with him?
Villain.
I don't know. Robin Hood's his favorite movie and Prince John's his favorite character.
Hey, Robin Hood being his favorite movie, ain't nothing wrong with that. Prince John being his favorite character, what's wrong with him?
So Kevin, what about you?
Favorite's gonna be Robin Hood. Least favorite's gonna be the sheriff.
Fair. Mike.
My favorite character is... So I was thinking I was going to say Maid Marian because I just really liked her, but I'm going to give it to Robin Hood, and specifically Blind with a Cup Robin Hood, because I just love looking at Dino's profile picture every time he speaks.
Good.
I just see him straight face shaking the cup. I'm like, specifically that Robin Hood.
Man's a legend.
Blind with a Cup Robin Hood's my favorite. And then my least favorite's the sheriff.
Man, I really don't know who my favorite character is. I'm going to say Friar Tuck because you got the mix of the character work and the design. But my least favorite's going to be Little John, believe it or not. I don't like that he's just a carbon copy of Baloo. He's the same voice actor too, isn't he? So,
and he also had that same animation.
Yep. So, just no. Don't like it.
Hey, you know what they say? If it was good the first time, why not have seconds?
That's a bar.
Is it? So, that was not Walt Disney's philosophy, though. He was not a fan of reusing things. He wanted new always.
Didn't he reuse scenes though?
Well, in this, I think they reused some scenes, but he's dead at this point.
No, before
Well,
Jungle Book, there
I
was
think he had no choice but to do that because they were gonna go bankrupt if they didn't save money. But I don't think that counts. You know.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't know.
He was more
Sometimes
so
you gotta
about-
break your own philosophy so you don't go broke.
He was more so about no sequels, no rehashing ideas. Which is why
Which
one
is not
thing,
wrong about the sequel thing because I'm gonna be honest, I don't like Disney sequels.
there's some good ones.
They're
Name
fair,
five.
far and
Five.
few.
Lilo and all of the Lilo and Stitch sequels, so that's like 4 there. I like Frozen 2. I like Wreck-It Ralph 2.
I've
Incredibles
never watched
2,
Wreck-It Ralph
all
2.
of the Toy Story sequels.
Mm-hmm.
Finding Dory kind of sucked.
No, I guess I was thinking on the direct to DVD sequels.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
those are kind of rough.
That's what I was thinking of. Not like those that are
Extremely
actually,
goofy
like-
movie.
An extremely goofy movie just is very nostalgia, but if I went back and watched it now, I would not like it at all.
Okay, that's one I
All
actually
right,
said.
that nah.
Okay. That one I would say I do like. That one's heavy on the emotion side, though.
Dude, it's a great movie.
Dude, the Goofy movies in general are so
A great movie
freaking
might be a bit
good,
of a
dude.
stretch.
Oh, they're so amazing.
A great movie.
Yeah, great movie. I stand by that with Mike.
Kevin said that.
Oh, Kevin said that. I stand by that with Kevin and Mike.
Surprisingly, that has a 63 on the tomato meter. I would not have guessed that.
Movie critics don't have good opinions.
Well, the audience score is a 48, so
They have worse opinions.
People don't know what's good for them.
They don't. They don't understand. Literally, I absolutely love those movies. They're so good.
it's all right.
This comes from the guy who likes Frozen and El Canto. No, I'm good.
Oh no!
How many?
Oh
Are we
goodness.
It's gonna be outside your door, bro. Chill out.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. We are 25 movies away from an extremely goofy movie.
Oh, I thought he was counting seconds before he arrives to your house.
I'll be waiting.
But man, we are so close to one of the greatest eras in Disney movie history.
Yes. Yes.
We're
Some
so
would
close.
even argue cinema history.
Oh my god!
There's only 7 movies in between us and The Little Mermaid.
Yup, and that starts it all.
Man, why did they have such a rough start?
I mean, the next movie after that is Rescuers Down Under, so I can't fault you there. But I'm
Tell
pretty
you what,
excited.
though.
And there is such a good lineup I'm looking at right now.
To be fair, I mean, to be frank with you guys, I'm excited for Winnie the Pooh because I love Winnie the Pooh. Kevin's so excited he watched it already.
Yeah.
Kevin's already. He jumped over.
Yep.
The Rescuers I've never seen, so I'm kind of excited about that. Fox and the Hound is incredible. I haven't seen that in years, so I'm excited to watch that again. The Black Cauldron I've never seen, but the villain looks like the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. Great
I'm
Mouse
really
Detective. I've
excited
never
to watch
seen
The
it.
Black Cauldron because I've never seen it. So
Yep.
I'm really excited to watch that one.
The Brave Little Toaster. I haven't seen that in probably 20 years, so I'm excited to watch that.
I love Oliver and Company.
I've never seen Oliver and Company, so I'm excited
Oh
to
my
watch that.
gosh, the animation, the music's so good.
God, we're getting into a great time.
Yeah, it's about to
Because
be.
even
It's
when
about to be
Disney
so
quote
about to be-
unquote falls off, it's bangers after bangers.
Just gotta get through Little Mermaid, and then we'll be good.
See, I'll talk about it more with the Little. I won't even say it. I'll just talk about it when we get to the Little Mermaid because it's a hot take. But that's gonna do it for this episode, I guess. Unless you guys have anything you want to say about the movie or anything.
Sign the petition to give Robin Hood more legacy. I'm not actually doing that, by the way. I'm just gonna tell you right now, I'm not doing it, but sign it.
Oh, another fun fact about this movie, that podcast that I was telling you about that inspired this, one of the other hosts was a cast member for Disney World, and he was a character, and he said that he was the Sheriff of Nottingham for quite a while, so it had characters. If Sheriff of Nottingham was a character you could meet, it had to have had
Why would
characters.
He was the sheriff's friend?
What? Who was the sheriff's friend?
We'll talk more in a minute.
Okay. So I guess with that, we'll say they all lived happily ever animated. I was going to say something after that, but I don't remember what.
Something after that.
Okay, something after that.
After that.